Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining me once again in Motortown Behind the Wheel. I am Games, and today doing something the same but different. So, for those of you that don't know, I love watching towing vehicles, whether it's small vehicles doing crazy things, whether it's off-road vehicles that were made by people customly to just drive through sand dunes and up mountains and in snow. I love watching all that stuff. I even love watching the big rotators on highways, clearing them up when they're recovering turned over vehicles, trailers. I love watching it all. I even like watching other people do recoveries on Motortown. And y'all know how I am about Motortown. I love me some recoveries. I love me some Motortown. I put them together and I just enjoy myself. But every once in a while, I come across a video and I ask myself, what were they doing? What were they thinking? So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to recreate it myself, and I'm going to see if what I would do versus what they did is better technique. So I contacted the dude. I asked him if he would upload his specs for his vehicles, trailers, everything he used during the video. Didn't get a reply. I didn't see him uploaded, so I basically had to wing off of what he had. So I bought the three trailers. They're the same trailers that he had in the video, one, two, and three. He used an FL1. Now I don't know if he did any upgrades to anything, so I left everything basic. And then he brought out his rotator. Now, one of the things he did say in the video is that he had weak winches on his rotator. So that tells me that he did not have the 20-ton winches at the very least. So I looked at his stats. He had a 493 driving, which means he had more than enough to get everything driving related that you would need for a rotator for the upgrades. That's the engine and everything. I didn't do that because I don't know if he even had the money to upgrade it. This thing's 620 grand. Upgrading it costs a lot. Each one of these winches, if you want a 20-ton winch, is 200,000 a piece, and you got three on here. That's 600,000 to upgrade $120,000 coin vehicle. So I'm like, okay, let's assume that he did not upgrade his winches, he didn't upgrade the engine, and he just colored it and said, that's what I got. So, first thing I did was I brought a truck out to block traffic because traffic over here is ridiculous. I watched him in the video, he laid out cones and everything. I was like, that's a good idea. But sometimes they'll drive into cones, and there's literally a parking spot right here. Why not spawn a vehicle to block it off? So that's what I did. I blocked it off with that. Now, in his explanation, he was driving to make the delivery here. In the last trailer, because it not touching, would not deliver. So he drove forward in an attempt to get that trailer to touch and ended up high centering itself. The landing gear came in contact with the ground and lifted the drive wheels off. So I recreated that. I'm going to hit my gas just so you can see we're stuck. Our wheels aren't touching the ground. We're not going anywhere. So we are in the same scenario, and hopefully we're as close to matching as what upgrades or anything additions that he did. So I'm gonna take this basic rotator. I literally just bought it and brought it over here. It's got 5-ton winches. All three of them 5-ton winches. Now he did some stuff that to me did not make sense right off the bat. For anyone that's watched a rotator video or operated one in game, to me it just didn't make sense, period. So first he decided that he would try and pull the entire road train back with the rotator, which in itself is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to pull something out the way it went in. That's the way a lot of recoveries happen. However, it went in is the way that they take it out. But instead of him, trying to back up to the trailer like this, then hooking it, and then trying to drive forward. That's not what he did. He decided to try something janky. Janky is pretty much the only description I could have for it, because I looked at it, I was all like, what is he doing? So he backed up right about here, put out his riggers, took a single line. Now, even if he had the 10-ton winches, which is what the highest that he would be able to get at level 153 for his wrecking, you're not pulling that. Just this last trailer alone, I'm assuming he filled it up completely. When I checked it, it was 19.8 tons. So he was going to try and pull this 19.8 ton trailer back along with this trailer and this trailer and this truck with a single line, by the way, single line. If you were going to do a single line, I wouldn't have did it off the boom. I would have used a rear winch to do that. Just because he didn't need a lift. He was literally just trying to pull it straight back. So if you didn't need a lift, you want to use that rear winch as low as possible. So that way you get your best chance. I, on the other hand, was like, no, that is not a good angle to pull at. Why are you pulling off that from the back over to there? Like, if anything, you'd back up and put it dead center, turn your boom, and then try and pull it backwards. That would make sense to me. So I was like, yeah, that still doesn't seem like the best option. Next thing he tried, he thought he'd back up and try pulling off the side with some jankiness. But he also was like, oh, you know what? I'll just disconnect the truck, move the truck out the way, lift up the trailer, pull it over to my truck, reconnect the truck to the trailers. I was like, that seems like a lot of time that is being wasted to accomplish that. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try and recover this how I think I would do it specifically for this scenario. So that's what I'm going to do right now. First off, as y'all know, my rotator is usually covered in lights, so I can see what the heck is going on. I like seeing around me, behind me, and all that stuff. But this is basic, so it's got no lights on or anything. So we're going to do the best we can. So first off, we know it's high centered right here at the first landing gear. So I am going to back up the rotator nice and close so we can get as maximum amount out of the rotator as possible. You can see we're going to line up with it. Now this area is very uneven, so when you got to put your riggers down and everything, it's going to unbalance you. Use the riggers individually in order to control your balance. So I'm going to throttle up, put these out. They're also going to add some friction, so it'll be good for pulling. We're going to drop down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this side down lower because I want to even out the height of the angle on my rotator. As you can see, it was like crazy tilting. Now I lifted up the lower side by just simply dropping down. Then you take the other side. You just need it to touch. Next, we'll do the same with the center. Shoot those out. And then we get our measurements. We want to try and make sure that we don't make everything all lumpy, bumpy, all uneven. Now the other side touched already. As you can see, this side is floating off the ground. So we're going to lower this side individually. Hey, look, we got a touchdown. I got to say, we're nowhere near as tilted as we were before, which is great. Next thing I want to do, let's get our crane set up. Obviously, I can't reach it from here. So we're gonna slide our crane backwards. All right, now we're gonna come up here. We're going to attach our lines. I prefer to come up here, attach the lines, rather than try and hop my way all the way up on top of the truck and then pull from there, just because it's simple that way. Uh-oh. The rotator glitched out. What is going on with that? Okay, there they go. That was weird. Never seen that before. The hooks disappeared. There we go. See, we're gonna go here. And we're gonna want to go the same distance from there. Now currently the brakes are on. I'm gonna leave the brakes on. Over there, when I move it, if it does free up, it doesn't go rolling off into the middle of nowhere. Now remember, we got 5-ton winch lines on here, so that's 10 tons between the two of them. Step one, I'm gonna raise up. I'm gonna raise up my boom. Actually, I'm gonna throttle down some. This way here, I can control the movements a lot more smoother. Raise it up, raise it up. Now, if you see, we're already getting movement right where we need it at. Now, I'm gonna move my crane forward. Let me throttle up first, because the crane moving forward is very slow if you don't do it. We're gonna crane forward. This way here, we're putting our balance much closer to the center of our rotator. And look at that. Look at that. That already got the truck mostly free. But I'm guessing it's still touching on this side. Yes, so we're still touching on that side. And we already know that these winch lines, they ain't that strong. But they're enough to get that unstuck. See, by using both winch lines, it's not one line trying to lift up all the daggone weight by itself. Which is why I couldn't understand why he kept using just the one line. I get it's faster and you can't pull both lines at the same time. But once one line maxes out, you can max out the other line, and then you can go back and forth with them. And a lot of times, that'll get you all the pull you need. But what he also didn't do is he didn't extend his booms and use the extension for the boom and the retraction of the boom to help move the load. So we're going to go ahead and throttle down. Now I'm going to boom in. It was that simple. That simple. After he did all the crazy stuff that he did, he managed to get the load spun back around. And make sure we're free here. Okay, yeah, we're definitely free. I'm gonna go ahead and lower down. Now I would disconnect mine. This generic rotator did that job. So far did that job. Because remember, his goal was to get that last trailer to touch to deliver what he had to deliver. So we're gonna go ahead and put our truck back up, put up our riggers and everything, go to center, do the same thing. We'll put our crane in. We're all boomed in and everything. Everything's put up and pretty. Let's move this out the way. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and loop around like he did. Looped around, and then he said, oh, you know what? I should probably disconnect the last trailer. And deliver it like that. To me, if he wanted to avoid a tight recovery, he could have did that very easily. Right from the start. Had he just come over here to the spot, he could have, boop, those are already full. So he doesn't need them out anymore. They've been delivered, so he doesn't lose anything. Now, he's got just the last trailer. If he would have did that over here, his truck would have dropped down. He would have been able to back straight up to his trailer. Then he could have just angled it to touch. And voila, it touched, and he had his delivery done. As you can see, the way he did it was long, drawn out, and it lacked the experience and knowledge needed to utilize a rotator to do the most at the least. And it cost him a lot of time. Of course, if I wasn't just redoing what he did to show y'all, I simply would have driven the rotator straight up here. Right, let me put the rotator, show you exactly what I would have moved it to. Another thing to remember, pulling off the back of the rotator is the strongest way and most balanced way to move a load. It can lift the most that way and just balance the most that way. So pulling off the side, you only want to do it when you literally can't get back to it. But I personally would have just backed up here. I would have swung the boom over with my riggers out, and then just pulled it into me. And then, because y'all saw, he wasn't that far from touching. So literally just hooking the lines to it on a boom, lifting up the boom, would have pulled the bottom over towards my truck, and it would have slid and touched it. That easy. That easy. But yeah, so I just wanted to, show people that utilizing your rotator properly can make things a lot faster, a lot easier, a lot simpler if you know what you're doing. If you're playing Motortown, you're new to it, feel free to drop questions in the comments or hop online, join multiplayer. There's a lot of people out there willing to help out, especially newer players. It is a fun game. Whether you want to deliver stuff, you want to drive a taxi, you want to race, you want to be an EMT, you want to be a cop, you want to be a firefighter, you can find it all in this game. It's wild. Thank y'all for watching.
That's it for this one, folks. Thank you all for watching. If you would hit that like, and if you'd like to know the next time I drop a video, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications. Until next time, have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, have a good year, live a good life. And let's remember to be better people today than we were yesterday. Bye!